Have you ever built something amazing, like an app, and then felt this urge to tinker with it, even when it's working fine?
It's like that old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But with software, it's not always that simple.
Today, we're diving deep into why developers feel the need to mess with perfectly good code.
We're going to unpack why that fix-it mentality isn't always the right approach, even when things seem to be humming along.
And we've got some great notes and transcripts to guide us.
You know, one of the things that really struck me is how often we encounter unexpected needs down the line. It's like you build this amazing personal finance app.
Right.
It's got everything, budgeting, expense tracking, but then you realize, wait, I can't track my investments on here. Exactly. It's all about functionality. Even with the best planning, users might discover needs they didn't even know they had. The way we picture things working in an app versus how we do them manually, they're often not the same.
That's true. It's like you build a new house thinking you have all the storage space you'll ever need.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you decide to take up kayaking. You need a place to store that kayak.
Absolutely.
Apps need that same flexibility to adapt and grow. And it's not just about new features, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's about making sure your app runs smoothly.
Performance is key.
Our source material actually dives into this whole concept of performance.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We've all been there. You tap an icon and you're met with that spinning wheel of doom.
You're just waiting.
The source material calls it performance profiling.
Yeah.
It helps developers find those bottlenecks, those parts of the code that are slowing everything down.
It's like having a roadmap of your code. You can see exactly where the traffic jams are happening.
It reminds me of those traffic helicopter reports. You can see where the congestion is and reroute the data flow.
Exactly.
But speed isn't everything, right? Think about something like an online banking app.
Right.
Performance is important, but security, that's got to be the top priority.
Absolutely. You've got to make sure that app is a digital fortress.
You know, it's like installing a top-of-the-line security system in your house.
Yeah.
You don't want to cut corners there.
Yeah.
And the same goes for your app. The source material really emphasizes this whole idea of building security in from day one.
100%. Trying to add it as an afterthought. That's like trying to build a fortress wall after your house has already been robbed.
Exactly. And our notes mention this really important point about vulnerabilities.
Oh, yeah.
Things like cross-site scripting, where malicious code can sneak in and potentially expose user data.
It's like leaving your front door wide open and then wondering why someone walked off with your TV.
Right. You've got to secure your code against those vulnerabilities right from the start.
Absolutely.
And that actually leads us to another important aspect we need to touch on.
Okay.
Maintainability.
Right.
Now, this might sound a bit technical.
Yeah.
But stick with us because it's actually pretty interesting. The source material basically describes it as making sure your code is clear, concise, and easy for anyone to understand. Not just you, but anyone who might have to work on it down the line.
Make it readable.
It's like the difference between having a perfectly organized toolbox where everything has its place.
I like that.
And just this jumbled mess of tools where you spend hours trying to find the right wrench.
I've been there. Frustrating.
You know, it's funny how sometimes the biggest impact comes not from adding some flashy new feature.
Right.
Or even fixing some major bug. Sometimes it's about taking a step back and just organizing what you already have.
Yeah. It's like cleaning up your workshop so you can actually find what you need.
Exactly. And something else that really stood out in the source material is how crucial user feedback is.
Essential.
Like you might think your app is perfect, but
Yeah.
your users might see things you don't. They might have insights you'd never even considered.
It's true. You get so close to something, you lose perspective. You need that outside view.
It's like that saying, you can't see the forest for the trees, or something like that.
Exactly.
So we've talked about a lot today: functionality, performance, security, maintainability.
It's a lot to consider.
It is. But what does it all really boil down to? Why is all of this so important?
Well, I think it comes down to building something that lasts. Something that doesn't just work today, but can adapt to whatever comes next.
Building something that can evolve as technology changes and user needs change.
Exactly.
It's almost like future-proofing your work.
Yes, exactly. And that's something to think about, whether you're building an app or anything, really.
So to all our listeners out there, next time you're looking at your code, ask yourself, am I building something that just checks the boxes for today, or something that can really stand the test of time?
It's about building for tomorrow, not just for today.
And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into why we mess with perfectly good code.
It's been a good one.
It has. Until next time, happy coding, everyone.